everyone, it's Janet today. Welcome to Reclaim Your Style. Today's video is all about Paul Banks, Interpol frontman's transformation, glow up from the early 2000s to his now 20 years of antics later. Glow up, transformation, glow up, and his style from like awkward, nerdy NYU kid leading the band as Interpol, trying to find his way around the indie rock and roll scene in the early 2000s to now fully confident, suave megababe, and fully confident and totally owning his look. I'm gonna break down that transformation from the 2000s to now because I think it tells you a lot about how the change from the beginning of his awkward college phase to now speaks to a lot of how he carries himself and how that helps him carry himself on stage, helps his self-confidence, helps him like totally enjoy and embrace the role of being a rock star. Let's start with a little bit of history, because in the very beginning, in the early 2000s, when Paul Banks first came on the scene, he was just an NYU kid and recruiting Daniel Kessler and his NYU buddies to form this band. And it was a really weird time because it was the same time as when a lot of other emerging indie bands were breaking into the scenes, like The Strokes, Franz Ferdinand, TV on the radio. So the last thing that he wanted was to be another competitor. It was hard for him to be a newcomer to the scene as everyone else was, and it was in the documentary also in Meet Me in the Bathroom, how it was a really awkward period of trying to like start a band because everyone else was starting a band and they had similar sound, post-punk electroclash. It was very similar to The Strokes. I think he was feeling a little awkward at that time because he didn't want to sound like a copycat, but they had their unique sound. When Paul started the band, he was a very awkward, nerdy, still like NYU kid. He had very preppy fits. His hair, his shaggy, fringy look was like covering his eyes. You couldn't really see him. It was kind of giving the vibe that I don't know if I want to be seen. I don't want people to see me. I'm not ready to be in the spotlight. And we all have our early awkward moments in our 20s. And so it really speaks to like how he's really evolved in his style and in his persona to really own the lead role, own that sort of like persona of being a rock star in this band. In the very beginning, that Paul wears a lot of preppy fits, a lot of v-neck sweaters, a lot of black. He buttons up his shirt, keeps it very buttoned up to the very top, and he wears a tie. So that's a very consistent part of his look in the very beginning. When you look at other members of the band, he doesn't really have his own aesthetic yet. He's still very shy. He's still a little bit reserved. He's not fully ready to step into the spotlight. But over the next few years, as the band gets more and more popular, they start touring, and he gets into a relationship with supermodel Helena Christensen, his style starts to evolve, starts to feel a little bit more confident about being in a spotlight. He starts to lean into that New York rock and roll fit, and he doesn't look like he's that awkward, preppy kid from NYU. And so it's really fun to like see how during that Helena Christensen dating period that he became more relaxed, a little bit more fun. You can start to see that he unbuttons his shirt and he's ready to look like a hot rock star a little bit. He lets his shirt unbutton a little bit so you can kind of see a little bit of his collarbone, and he starts to not wear the same black v-neck cardigan sweater. He starts to not wear the same v-neck sweater all the time, which is very preppy and very NYU kid. He starts to get a little bit more confident. He starts to lean into that cool rock star look, and starts to like become a little bit more polished, a little bit more like clean cut, and starts to be a little bit more polished, a little bit more clean cut. And you start to see that he's feeling more confident. It takes a little bit of time. Obviously, from your early 20s to like 30s is a bit of a transformation, a bit of a growth period. And in that growth, you can see that the relationship has helped him grow himself and feel more at ease and comfortable about who he is. Over the years, he was in a relationship with Helena Christensen for a period, and that helped him really improve his appearance and his self-confidence. I mean, dating Helena Christensen, a major supermodel, is a really big feather in your cap, at least for someone like Paul Banks. And so Over the years, he then continued to work on his diet and his exercise in his body. So post relationship, he continued to work on himself, and he started to work on his physique, his body, his shape, and his appearance. Started to like kind of like lean out of the New York cool and started to get more slicker and more sophisticated, more really tough. You know what I mean? I'm fully aware that I'm a rock star kind of vibe. And his physique has been more built up. He's got more muscle, more defined biceps, and chiseled chest and abs due to the workout and the running and getting in shape and boxing. It has really helped form his physique. He's ready to show off that body. He's ready to like let people see the real Paul that was hiding behind his shaggy haircut. He's now started to slick back his hair with lots of gel. He's going for like tailored black suits, and he's going for like leather jackets. He's going for like hot dad status. He's in a new he's now married and has kids, and so now he's really wanting to own a new identity, not just as the front man. He's just embraced this new chapter of his life where he's like in shape. He feels good about himself. He's cool. He's not afraid to tell it like it is. He's sporting leather jackets and tailored shirts, and he's wearing these like cool black sunglasses. He's still doing the all black, but he's not doing that like awkward nerdy like preppy fit with the tie and the sweater. He's really enjoying the spotlight. He's really enjoying being in the band, and it shows because he's not hiding behind shaggy haircuts and, you know, NYU grad school fits. He's leaning into this whole rock star. It just shows the way he gets on stage. That was a great example of how over different periods of time in your life you can reclaim your style and reclaim your identity, and you can let people see how your style is a reflection of this new you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for my other style breakdowns.